Hey guys, Utah is changing and there's lots of things you have to know about. We're starting to see an increase in net migration here to the state over the last couple of years, and we're going to start to see some massive changes going into the future. We're starting to transition from a small, lesser known city into more of a full-size economic powerhouse. Things are changing here in Utah, and there's a couple things you need to know about here in this video. We're going to break it all down for you. I'm going to show you some stats based on some research and some studies that have been done so you can get a better understanding of how Utah's changing and what that means for you in the real estate market. Whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, or maybe you're not looking to do anything at all, I think this will be relevant for you because it'll give you a picture or an outlook of where things are headed here in Utah across the board. As always, if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, please reach out to me, call, text, or email anytime. My name's Cody Steck. I want to be your favorite Utah realtor. I've had hundreds of people reach out from videos just like this, and I cannot wait to hear from you as well. So with that said, let's jump in my screen here and take a look at the Utah net migration over the past, let's say 50 years, right? So over the past 50 years, actually we're looking at about 70 years here, all the way back to 1950, net migration into the state has been up, it's been down, it's kind of all over the place, right? 1950, it was up, then it was down for a couple of years, then it was back up, then down, then back up, then down. We didn't start to see massive net migration until about the early 70s, when we actually saw quite a bit of migration here to the state from the 70s through the 80s. Then we had a big recession here going into the mid 80s. We actually fell, right? A lot of people moved out of the state, but then over the last 31 of the past 32 years, we've had net migration that was positive during this time. You can see that we've had roughly 20 to 30,000 people, almost, some of these are less than that over here, but we've had almost 20 to 30,000 people move into the state in 31 of the past 32 years. Only this year, right here, 2010, we had a very small net migration outflow. But every year since then, it's been massive, right? Especially over the last couple of years, we hit 38,141 in 2022. I expect that 2023 will probably be about that same range, maybe even a little bit higher because the cat's out of the bag, right? Utah's a great place to live. I've talked about that at length here on the channel, and there's a lot of things that you need to know when it comes to Utah. Okay, so this graph I think is really good. This is actually from the Kempsey Gardner Policy Institute. These guys do research and studies about how Utah's changing and what the population actually looks like here in Utah. So I just want to run through this here with you. Old Utah was a small state. 1990, 2000, 2010, population ranked was 34th in the nation. Now, the new Utah, more populous, mid-sized state, population rank 30th. And this is actually talking about Utah as a whole, right? We're still only ranked 30th on population for the state, but we are actually growing pretty rapidly. And I would not be surprised to see us fall all the way down to 25, maybe even 20 at some point in the next, 15, 20, 30 years, right? So it's going to change. We're going to become a bigger state just because of what we have to offer here. There's a lot of internal growth that happened in the years prior between 2000 and 2020. 34% of growth came from migration, whereas in 2021 and 2022, we saw 61% of growth from migration, which is almost double what we saw during this time frame. This basically means that there's a lot more external growth, people moving to the state rather than people being born in the state and raised up here. It used to be very less multicultural, only 9.5% minority in 1990. As of today, we're at 23.3% and expect to be at 30% plus in 2040. So this is pretty crazy. Over the next, 17 years or so, we are going to see the minority basis grow to almost 30%, which at that point, it's like almost not even a minority, right? So things kind of change, and they're going to change over the next 15 to 20 years. We used to have a very young population. Only 9% of people was age 65 plus. As of 2050, we expect 20% of people to be age 65 or older. I think this is largely due to the boomer population that we expect to see over the coming years. Yes, I do think there will be older people who continue to move to the state, especially areas like St. George, but overall, I think it's just due to a naturally older population as well, right? So you shouldn't say, oh, it's just a bunch of old people moving to the area. I think it's going to largely be due to just the natural aging of the population we have here in the United States. We have a strong economy. Utah job growth strong, but ebbs and flows. Now we've got an elite economy. Utah job growth consistently best in the nation and top COVID outcomes as far as business economy. And we're also moving from affordable housing, Utah housing cost to wages highly competitive, to unaffordable housing. Utah housing costs represent major economic risk, and this is largely due to the lack of affordable housing here in the area because there's not enough housing units, right? For so long, the housing units that were allowed to be built were heavily restricted. Everybody says, hey, we need more apartments, we need more condos, we need more high density stuff. Just don't put it in my backyard, right? And that's a problem for us here in Utah. Everybody wants this. Everybody says, oh, we need more options so that people can afford to live here. However, when developers come in and they start saying, hey, we need to build this, this is the only way that this makes sense for us to make money on this and to take the risk that it takes to build this building, we need to be able to build more units, higher buildings, higher density stuff. And a lot of people agree with that. They just don't want to see it in their neighborhood, right? So this is a common problem. This isn't just a Utah thing. This happens all across the country. Everybody in different markets seems to struggle with this, unless you're maybe in New York or something. But everybody struggles with this. And it's kind of unfortunate because this is the reality of the market, right? If we take a look at this, this is the 2023 to 2030 projected housing demand. Over these following counties, this shows you the new units that are needed over the next 7 years in each of these counties, right? So Utah County, 51,689,000. Salt Lake, 49,000. Washington, where St. George is, 25,800. Davis, 18,000. Weber, 12,000. Cache, 8,000. And you get the idea all the way on down. So you can see here that, in some of these different counties, some of these like rural areas are not going to need a lot of housing units, right? Maybe a couple hundred at most. Iron County, 5,000. The rest of them are, fairly low. Rich County, only 100. Duchesne, they're actually saying they have oversupply in Duchesne. So it really depends on which markets you're looking at. But Salt Lake, Utah, Wasatch, Summit, Washington County, Davis, Weber, all of these main metro areas need tons of housing. There's a shortage of housing out there, and they need to build more. But unfortunately, it's just so expensive. It's very difficult. Interest rates are up, they're down, they're kind of all over the place. So builders are facing this problem of like, hey, we need to build inventory, but people can't really afford it because home prices are up and interest rates are up. But we don't want to build it and then not be able to sell it because then we're not going to make money, and then we shouldn't take that risk, right? So it's just kind of this big problem that continues to persist. Let's take a look at interest rates. Really quick, I want to show you this here. We're going to pull these over here. So interest rates over the last couple of months, I want to talk about this because this also inflects on how the Utah economy is changing. Over the last 6 months or so, let's say 9 months, back here in March, we saw interest rates about 6.5% right here. They started to climb all the way up to 8% here in October and then steadily fell over to 6.5% again in just the last couple of days. This kind of shows you the slow progression down over the past, let's say, month and a half from early November here to the middle of December down to 6.6%. So interest rates are changing, and look at what I'm starting to see roll out here today. This is from different home builders that are out there in the market. So I got this email. Hope you're well, Cody. Ivory Homes just rolled out our strongest rate incentives this year to complement our already discounted home prices. 3% BSC as well. That regards the commission. FHA loan, 4.99% on a 30-year fixed loan. Now, you do have to have good credit for this and close before January 31st, but being able to qualify for a 4.99% interest rate in today's market is absolutely crazy. I really hope there's people who can take advantage of this out there in the market today. If you're one of those people who can take advantage of this and you're looking for some help navigating the real estate market, I'd love to be your resource of choice. Please reach out to me, call, text, or email anytime. My information is here on the screen. I love helping people who watch these videos. People do reach out to me, and I do welcome you to reach out to me as well if I can help you in any way. Look at this conventional loan. They're actually offering a 3.875 interest rate for the first year. Second year will be 4.875, and then a permanent rate of 5.875 locked in every year thereafter, right? So basically what they're doing is they're giving you an amazing interest rate long term, right, at 5.875, plus they're also going to buy down the interest rate in the first and second years to 3.8 and then 4.875. So the interest rates that are being offered by new construction builders are getting better, right? I've been talking about this for a couple months here on my channel. New construction, they've got lots of incentives, and honestly, if you're looking for a new home right now, new construction could be the way to go. If you're interested in what's happening with this world, reach out to me. My team and I put together an entire list of all the builders in the area. We have contacts with every single builder. We know which ones are offering options. It's not just Ivory Homes here that we're talking about. There's different builders who have these options, who are willing to offer these types of incentives, and we put together an entire list that we'd love to share with you, regardless of which area you're looking, whether it's northern Utah, southern Utah, whatever. We'd love to help you get that information into your hand. You can pause the video here if you want to look at this other information here, but that kind of wraps up our video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to reach out to me if I can help in any way. Thanks for watching another video, and we'll catch you in the next one.